Hi everyone, this is Kosh from Blue Sky Graphics. Today we're going to learn how to make a portion of the scene where we have our standing character pointing at the backboard. We're going to learn how to bring in characters from Illustrator into After Effects, working with expressions, using the whip tool, and finally how to composite everything together. So let's jump in. First, we need to go into Illustrator. Here, as you can see, we have our pre-made character. The most important thing to understand is that every part of the character that is going to be moving needs to be on a separate layer. As you can see on my layer panel on the bottom right, I have the left arm on its own. I have the torso, the right arm, and everything else on separate layers. We need all these different layers to be able to move separately at any given time. Now we can go ahead and save our work. Just like any other Illustrator file, make sure it is a .ai file. Now, let's jump back over to After Effects. We are going to right-click on our project panel, go over to Import, and go over to File. You can hit your shortcut Command-I if you like, or for Windows operating systems, it would be Control-I. Here we have our standing character Illustrator file. We want to go ahead and select this one, and then we want to make sure we import it as a composition, retain layer sizes. This is very important for us because we want to make sure we have the same layer sizes as to the ones that we had saved in Illustrator. Go ahead and press open, and now you can see that After Effects has gone ahead and created a composition for us for our character, as we can see up top here, as well as that created a neat folder for all our layers. From here, all we want to do is go ahead and click and drag the composition over to our timeline layers, pop it right above everything else. We have our Illustrator character in a composition brought over from Illustrator. Now, we can go ahead and resize things later. Go over to the selection tool, move our character somewhere around here. The second thing we want to do is we want to enter our composition. Now, these compositions are our sub-compositions. Remember, we have a master composition that we are working on right now. This master composition is everything that you see here. So we want to go ahead and click on this standing woman composition. We are popped over into the composition itself. It has now been isolated, which we can just see those layers that we had in Illustrator, every different part of our character. At this stage, all our individual layers can be moved separately. As you can see, each part can be detached. Each layer has an anchor point. Currently, the default anchor point position is at the center of the complete shape. If I went ahead and hit R on my keyboard, that will pop up the rotation angle. If you go over to the angles on the right-hand side and begin to drag left and right, you will see how this shape will go ahead and rotate. As you can see, this is not what we want. We want this leg to rotate from the waist area. We want to go over to the pan behind tool. The shortcut is Y. We're going to click and drag over this anchor point and move it to the bottom of the torso. Now, if I go ahead and rotate, it will rotate from the correct place. We want to go ahead and do this for every part. If I go ahead and click on the torso and then click R for the rotate tool and rotate the torso, you will see both the arms and the head will not move with the torso. That is because they are not connected. This is something that we want to go ahead and do. We need to use the whip tool. We want to go ahead and click on the left arm. And here you see we have got the pick whip to work on. Click and drag to a parent layer. Now, if I go ahead and move the torso, you'll see the left arm is connected to the torso. I'm going to go ahead and do this for every other part. What we want to go ahead and do now is work on some expressions. Expressions are designed in a way for you to go ahead and put in a formula that the computer will go ahead and calculate for you to do a certain movement. We're going to bring back the rotations options and hold the Option key for Windows operating systems. That would be the Alt key. Then click onto the stopwatch. The expressions for rotation will pop up, and the type of expression we want to give it in this scenario would be a wiggle. So we're going to go ahead and type in wiggle. Then we want to go ahead and press the Tab key. We now have to go ahead and give it that formula. The formula will be to give it a number and then a comma, and then another number. The first number is the speed of the rotation. The second number will be how much range will that rotation have. As an example, let's go ahead and give it a speed of 5 and a range of, let's say, 10. Click off this and then press spacebar to preview. Now that's a bit too much for what we want here. So we're going to stop that. We're going to go back over here and change that number to, let's say, 1. The actual movement, it can be a little bit less than that. Let's say 5. So let's go ahead and replay this. Press spacebar. So this is not bad. We don't want it to be too dramatic. We're going to leave it just there for now. I'm going to go ahead and actually do the same thing and give some more wiggle to other parts of the body. It's a bit too static right now. Perfect. This is starting to look really good. Let's go back over to our master comp and have a look at what we have done. We have great dynamic movement and better range of motion. I hope you've enjoyed today's class. If you want to learn more about motion graphics or any of the other courses that we provide, please visit blueskygraphics.co.uk. You've been learning with Kosh at Blue Sky.